I had to watch it several times. With two mentors of Chris Cuomo. The left is a mentor of the heart, and the right is the mentor of the mind. So let's bring in the better minds. On the left side, heavyweight champion Van Jones. On the right side, heavyweight intellectual champion Mike Smerconish. Go.
Michael, the logic is pellucid. It is clear and obvious.
Round one for Michael. Go fight.
8 people die at the FedEx. Not even a yawn. They had to argue with me to include it in the top of the show tonight. Because I said, well, where is it? Where's anybody talking about? But the vaccine.
I mean, he brings up a great point. So many people are dying. You don't even know when was the last mass shooting. Was it yesterday? Was it a supermarket? Was it a moschee? Was it a church? When was the last mass shooting? Oh, it was a couple of hours ago. And before, a couple of hours, in Minneapolis. I thought it was in Minnesota. So it doesn't matter. But that's a great point, I think, that they're making here.
7 out of 7 million. Shut it down. We got to think of a better way.
Yeah.
How do you explain it?
I thought your commentary was brilliant and depressing. And you're right. I sent out a tweet today and I said, 6 individuals out of 7 million who had the J&J shot develop complications. We don't know if that's causation or correlation, but we immediately shut down that entire program in the midst of a pandemic. And then comes the news of what transpires in Indianapolis. 8 folks are dead. And I hate to say it, but I buy into your logic. I don't think anything changes. Here's an embarrassing thought. I was driving to work very early this morning, having heard the news, and running through my mind, when did this last occur? I couldn't place it. I knew it was Boulder, but I couldn't remember that it was a supermarket. I couldn't remember that 10
Takes the
had
word
died.
out of my
when
mouth.
I got to work, I looked up all the other recent incidents. And Chris, I'm a news junkie. It's amazing how many of them I'd forgotten. I guess what I'm really frightened about is the ease with which we're all now so willing to just move on to the next day's news cycle.
And Van, you preach hope. And you're right. Everybody who leads from their heart does. And a marriage of head and heart like yours makes you a very valuable asset to the cause. But at some point, hope can be defined as yet undiscovered disappointment. Because if you don't have a plan, and you don't have a way to implement the plan, you can hope all you want. You wind up with a new name, and a new face, and a new place with the same fate. So how do we do better?
Well, I think that, I think you're speaking...
I mean, you have to watch this again and again and again, because it's such a brilliant commentary. What is hope? Not yet discovered disappointment? I mean, that's really deep. That's philosophical.
For a lot of people right now. I think the level of exasperation, the level of just depression, people are really hurt. And people are hurting and uncertain about how we're going to go forward. I do think that we've fallen into a particular kind of a trap that comes from the dimmer switch is going up on some of this stuff. For all we know, there could be fewer of some of these shootings and some of these bad things that are going on when it comes to the police, but there's a lot more evidence of it now. So we're getting more illumination on the problem, and we're not seeing illumination on the solution. So I understand that part. But I will say this is what I know for sure. I don't have to guess. There are a bunch of awful people in the country. There's a lot more awesome people in the country. There's a lot more good people who just don't know what to do, Chris. The awful people are screaming and yelling and blocking everything and tweeting and canceling and acting like complete lunatics, and they get all the attention. The vast majority of people are good folks in both parties, all races, all faiths. They just don't know what to do yet. They are waiting for some instruction. And what I believe is what you're going to see is we're hitting now. I've never seen you like this tonight. You are broken. Speaking. Yeah. I mean, listen, seriously. I think we're hitting peak division. think now, once we get past this trial, I think you're going to start seeing at the grassroots level a bottom-up movement to restore some stuff. We can't fix stuff at the federal level. But I'm going to tell you, I'm hearing it everywhere. People are tired of the crap, and they're looking for things to do. It's going to start off small, and it's going to start to grow. It's going to be people coming together, tired of the noise. But I think you're speaking for millions and millions of people tonight. But anybody who's got a solution at the local level, this is the time to speak up.
You can't say it because they'll say you're making a threat. But you know, if there were kids in white neighborhoods getting killed by cops for running away, and yeah, every one of them, you know, look, I don't want to say this. I don't want to wish bad for anybody. I love my kids. They're all that matters to me. They're all that matters to me. And Mike, I know you're the same way. But you know, if it was the people that we know and the places where we live and their kids start getting taken out, one here, one there, one here. Well, they were leaving late that night from that party, and they came to break up the party, and those kids ran out. It looked like a gun. It was a bottle. He shot them. Hey, justified, you know. Things would change. We start seeing gangs of black militias to protect their neighborhoods that have legal firearms. Things would change. We saw it in the 60s. Van, last word for you, and then to Michael.
Yeah, look. If African Americans start creating militia, all of a sudden we're going to have gun reform just like that. That'd be the quickest way to get there.
They think we're kidding. You know we're not kidding.
No, it would happen just like that. That'd be the quickest way to get there. But let me point out, you talked about the fact that the vaccine's been shut down. That's the bad news. The good news is we have a vaccine, and it's a lot faster than people thought. You talked about the fact that that we have these horrific murders that are being shared. But the reality is, it's also creating, I think, a big demand for some kind of change. Congress hasn't moved, but I've been doing this for 25 years. I've never seen as much awareness as possible. So right now, in this moment, this may be the breakdown, but breakthroughs are possible because tomorrow always comes.
Michael.
I mean, this is so brilliant. This is a breakdown, but it opens the door for a breakthrough. This is also very deeply philosophical. Now, Michael Smith-Cornish will have the last word.
If black folks form militias for the first time in our nation's history, we'll begin reconsidering the Second Amendment and the language that pertains to militias. The silver lining in all of this is that I agree with Van. There's more that unites us. There are a lot of folks who are centrist, who are turned off by the profit-engineered folks who benefit from fomenting dissent. And if we can take back control of this conversation, maybe we can see our way out of it.
That's it. One of the most insightful conversations that I have witnessed in the last decade.